Hey guys, got a camera review for you. This is the Olympus Stylus 770SW. I bought it about a year ago. I was in Australia taking surf lessons and one of the instructors had this and took a look at it and I was so impressed that I decided to get one of my own. So it's been a year and I've used it pretty hard, and in that time two newer models have come out and I'll talk about some of the differences for those models later on. But right now I just want to talk about this particular camera. As you can see by all of these scratches, I've put this thing through its paces, and basically Olympus markets this as being a hard use camera. According to the specs, this is able to be dunked 33 feet underwater with no problems because of the housing. If you look here, I'll open up the battery port. You have this rubber seal that covers the outer layer around where the battery and the memory card are, and you have the same rubber seal here where you would plug into the camera into your computer. So it's nice. So with these seals you can go up to 33 feet or 10 meters underwater. Also, this is listed as being able to handle sub-freezing temperatures, and it's supposed to be shock resistant. So you can drop this from 5 feet or below, and if you weigh 220 pounds or less, you could stand on this thing, no problem. And I've actually done that. I've dropped this camera on purpose and had no problems whatsoever. I've thrown it around, and really, for the ability to treat this camera that badly means that you're more likely to have it on you because you don't have to worry about it breaking. I take this with me to the beach. I've dunked it in salt water, and all I do is just go to the bathroom, rinse it out under the sink, and it's as good as new. And for that ability to have a camera on you at all times for when that weird impromptu shot happens, that's priceless. So that's great. I always have this camera on me unless I'm lending it to friends who are doing their own trips. And in that case, I usually ask them in return to take a couple cool pics and a couple cool videos, and I'll probably use that and upload it onto the site. So you'll have gear reviews and some travel videos as well. But anyways, back to the camera itself. The 770 is listed as having 7.1 megapixels of resolution. It has a 3-power optical zoom. The LCD is 2.5 inches. There is no viewfinder, so you're going to have to use the LCD, which is fine. That's how I prefer to take pictures anyway. And it uses a proprietary lithium-ion battery. Now, this weighs 5.5 ounces, which is 155 grams. Now, it's not the lightest thing in the world, but I mean, looking at the stainless steel construction, that's not a big surprise. You're giving up lightweight for durability, which I would happily give just for the fact that I can treat this rough. Now, one thing I don't like about this, and it's for most Olympus cameras, is the fact that they insist on you having to use their proprietary XD technology. So you're going to have to use an XD card. I don't like that. I really wish they would just make their cameras using SD cards, simply for the fact that they're more common and they're more usable with, say, netbooks that have an SD card slot. XD cards also, I'm kind of upset with the fact that currently they only go up to 2 gigabytes worth of storage, and that's a shame compared to other cameras. Like SD cards, I think, go up to 16 gigabytes now. So I mean, if Olympus is going to make you use this camera and use an XD card for it, they should step up and try to expand the storage on their XD card line. Otherwise, people are going to be more likely to buy other cameras that have more storage. But that's pretty much my main gripe with this thing. I mean, I've learned to live with it. With 2 gigabytes of space, I can take plenty of pictures and I can take a fair amount of videos, and if I bring my laptop with me, I can just keep transferring them over to the laptop and freeing up space on the camera itself. The controls are pretty well laid out. Here's the speaker. So this is going to be where you're recording the audio, which is weird because audio will be probably coming from the front, whereas the speaker's facing away. However, when you're doing playback, the sound's going to come out from here also, so that's a pretty nice feature. You have your wide angle and zoom lens, and let me just turn this guy on just to give you an idea. Nothing really interesting to look at, so I'm just going to put this Coke can just to give you an idea of how things look on this guy. Now, you have the on and off button, and this is the click flash picture taking button. So you push it halfway down to zoom in and focus on it, and then you press it again to take the picture. Now, this is the viewing button in case you want to check out what you just shot, like so. and then you press the top button to go back to shooting mode. Now, one thing I don't like about this is the fact that you have to keep pushing this to change between different modes. So this is auto. You push it again in order to go to a scene mode. Then you have to push it again to change between the different other modes, like for example fireworks, nighttime shot, sunset shot, or even the movie mode. So that's one thing I don't like. So if I wanted to go to movie, I would have to go through all of that menu and then scroll up and down, instead of having a click wheel, which you find on a lot of Canon cameras. Would have much preferred the click wheel and would have made this a lot more easy to use, but I've learned to live with it. You have the actually standard controls right here. It's 4 position with the select in the center, so you can adjust between flash, macro, or wide shot, timer, and I forgot what the top key does. And also a couple other cool little features on this camera is this is the menu button right here. If I were to push it and hold it down like so, let's see if I can get this to work, you can turn on the light, so you have like a little flashlight right here while you're taking pictures. So you have like a little mini light to light up whatever you're taking a subject of. So that's kind of a cool feature. Also, let me just turn this camera off. If this camera is off, if I just push it briefly, the clock is going to come up. So right now it's 3 a.m. 2009 and it's September 11th. So that's kind of a cool feature. Just tap on it once and then you get the time. And another cool thing that I got was, let's say if I turn the camera on, this is kind of a cool thing that I used when I was taking this with me on a road trip. If I hit the menu button, I go to setup, zoom down a little bit, see if I can find it. There's an alarm clock on this guy. That's great. I've been using this as an alarm clock in addition to my watch. I haven't had to carry a real alarm clock in a long time, and it's pretty loud, so it's pretty good. There's also dual time, and let's see if I can find it. There's a manometer, which means if you turn this on, whenever you take a picture, this will list what altitude the pictures you took were taken at. So I wish I had this with me when I was trekking through the Himalayas. Would have been really nice to have the picture when I was at Mount Everest Base Camp and have this list the altitude I was taking the picture at. So it's kind of a nice feature. So all in all, this is a great camera. Decent resolution. I have found though for comparable megapixel cameras, Canon and some other cameras do take better pictures. I mean, it just tends to be a sharper picture in general. However, it's if you look at it, if I turn this on and access the zoom, nothing comes out. I mean, this camera is completely compact. All the internal working moving parts are internal, and it's understandable that they're only going to have a certain limited amount of capacity for the fact that they have to build this thing rock solid, so they're not going to have be able to put some of the finer parts you'll find in cameras like a Canon. But I happily trade that. I mean, I've gotten some really good shots. I mean, you're just going to have to be a little bit more careful with your lighting in order to get your subject well lit and take a decent picture. Really love this camera. Have used it a lot, and probably going to use this until it dies, which is going to be a long time from now. The only two gripes I have are the XD card and the fact that there's no click wheel. Which brings me to the two newer versions of this camera. There is the Olympus 1030, which basically has a click wheel, and I think it upgrades the zoom to 3.6 optical, and it's 10 megapixel. And then the model after that, which is the current model, is the 8000 TUF, and that upgrades it up to 12 megapixels, and it's able to shoot I think it's able to shoot, I don't know if it's able to shoot in HD. I do know that it's able to shoot at 28 frames per second. Oh, that's another gripe that I have about this thing. When it's in movie mode, it can only shoot at 14 frames per second, which means if you have any fast moving objects, it's not going to be able to pick it up. For example, I was in a thunderstorm in Bangkok and it couldn't pick up the lightning because it was too fast. The 1030 and the 8000 shoot at 28 frames per second, which means you're going to be able to shoot at normal pace. If you want an idea of what videos taken with this camera look like, go to the page, to the Jump the Map webpage, and check out the other videos that I have listed. A lot of the early reviews were shot using this camera on video mode, so that'll give you an idea of what the video quality will be with when you're using this camera. Retailed for about 400 bucks. That was about a year ago. Nowadays, if you go on eBay or Amazon, you can probably get it for about 200. So if you're looking for a decent camera with a lot of performance that you can treat pretty severely, this might be something to look at. If you have a little bit of extra money and you don't mind spending, say, about 300 bucks, I would recommend looking at either the 1030 or the 8000. But as it is, I think this is still a great buy if you're looking for an affordable good use and easy to use camera. So that's my little review of the Olympus Stylus 770SW. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.